There are some people that are so expectant of commiseration or support and empathy for their complaints, so expectant that the present party will uphold or further promote the negative energy, that when somebody electively and publicly opts out of the complaint, they don't know how to deal with that person. I thought about that as I was entering my home, and I said to myself, peace over everything. Whether others receiving you well or poorly matters to you or not, complaining is neither an indicator of peace nor gratitude. Y'all, gratitude is a priority. When you can find the things to be grateful for in the midst of the disappointment, peace follows. Passion public service announcement. Passionate. Let me tell you something. So what is this Passion PSA podcast? Who am I? Well, they call me Passion, short for passion, no last necessary. Why is there no last name necessary? Because the first name says it all. I am passion and all that embodies. What do I do here? I give you the life coaching that you know you need, but don't enroll yourself in. When did I start? Actually, 2017. I'd leave a PSA on my Instagram regarding something I'd observed, and now we've evolved to this. Why do I do it? Why not? If even one person is able to take away one thing that changes their life, someone else's life, or changes the world for the better, then I've done what I was charged to do. So come on in, sit and listen for a while. There's something here for everyone at the Passion PSA podcast. Oh no, the bears! They fell down, I picked them up. They fell down. Greetings and salutations as I try to get myself comfortable, my beloved passionates, newcomers, visitors, and guests. Y'all act right. Welcome to another episode of the Passion PSA podcast, where I, passion no last necessary, your get you right guru, issue a weekly public service announcement about whatever I have observed or was on my mind. This is a for your consideration zone where the objective is to offer you a perspective you may not have previously considered to A, expand your thinking, and B, aid you in becoming a better version of yourself and for others. This is a safe space, but not necessarily a delicate one. I'll never rob you of your right to feel what you feel. Same way I won't sugarcoat the truth to make it more palatable. The goal is to get you to higher, more expanded thinking so you can operate as your highest and best self. If you are new here, affirmations are our first order of business so we can intentionally raise the vibration and start on one accord. Let's get on the same frequency. If you're ready, go ahead and take a deep breath. You are always welcome to repeat after me or to use this time to state your own affirmations. My mind is expanding. I am grateful that I am open to continually evolving. I am grateful that I am continually evolving. I am grateful that my perspective has shifted. I am grateful to look at things through a broader lens. I'm grateful for insight and grateful to share my insight with others. I'm grateful that my healing helps others. I'm grateful that my healing heals others. I'm grateful for every step I've taken and every inch of progress I've made, even if it was only an inch. I'm grateful for correction. I'm grateful for mirror. I'm grateful for awareness. I'm grateful for growing from defensive to discerning. It is well. I am well. All is well. Well is all. Ashe, ashe, ashe. So passionate. One day I'm in the basement doing laundry. All the dryables are loaded and tumbling, so I had to hang up the things that can't be dried. When I get on the elevator, there are two occupants who don't appear to already be engaged in conversation, and it doesn't matter because I'm just trying to get to my destination. I enter, I press my floor, we're ascending. The conversation now resumes. Speaker is complaining about what transpired with their shipment. I don't really know what happened. I'm assuming that they ordered something that didn't get delivered properly or in a timely fashion. Whatever the case was, they're very upset because they paid extra for like a certain level of delivery and that's not what they got. The conversation continues and listeners like, well, they can't really find people to work. Okay, this is 2021, so we're still coming out of the world closing. And speaker is going further and further in with the negativity about how people are lazy and incompetent and that's all we have now. At this point, I'm thinking to myself, this was never my conversation to begin with. This is a great place to tune out. I'm good, love. Enjoy. So I start humming quietly and I'm trying to recall the words to Gratitude by Londrell. Now, I don't know all the words to the song to begin with, but I do know that's the space I want to be in. Things didn't necessarily go 100% as planned, and there were some hiccups, but for the most part, things are getting done. I'm operating productively. All or most of what I wanted to accomplish for the day, I've accomplished. I'm grateful. I'm good with it. Okay, so in my mind, I'm looking like I'm meditating. And if that's not what I'm giving, at minimum, you should be able to read, I'm minding my business and I'm disengaged from what y'all got going on here. My eyes are closed and I'm just standing there. So listener exits the elevator and the conversation turns to me and is, how you feeling? You okay? You all right? I said, I feel wonderful. And speaker says, oh, okay. While continuing to look at me like something is wrong with me. Then before they exit the elevator, they make sure that they share with me their disdain for what has transpired with their delivery or shipment. So I just nod my head. Because for one, I can't relate. 2, I'm not in that energy space. 3, I'm in the gratitude space. I'm counting my wins. And anything else isn't up for consideration. And it occurred to me when I finally exited the elevator that there are some people, and I probably knew this, but it was one of those points of reminder like, wow, that is wild. There are some people that are so expectant of commiseration or support and empathy for their complaints, so expectant that the present party will uphold or further promote the negative energy, that when somebody electively and publicly opts out of the complaint, they don't know how to deal with that person. They don't know what to make of them. Speaker had no idea what to do because the person to whom they were complaining and who was actively listening had already exited. I wasn't engaged in that conversation and I wasn't volunteering for round 2. Their experience wasn't mine up to that point. And it's not really mine now, okay? I mean, USPS and Amazon definitely be trying it, but nothing to where I've ever been incensed on that level. So I'm not even willing to act like I'm trying to lament and grieve with them like, OMG, that's so terrible. I can't believe that happened to you. I feel like it's such a travesty. A previous version of me would have, but now I'm not doing all that. Especially if it's not the space that I'm already in. And more, pay attention here, more if it is the space that I'm in, because I know all that ugly acting isn't going to get me out of that space. It won't change any of what happened. It won't change the person who did it. So what exactly does it do? Is it unfortunate? Yes. Is it inconvenient? Yes. Is it a hassle? Yes. Do I have to live there? No, because it already happened and you already got it rectified from what I can tell. Because in the addendum, speaker added how it was like, and then I had to do this, I had to do that. But I didn't ask what the resolution was. That wasn't my interest. That wasn't my concern. That was something they elected to share. And the energy behind it felt like, well, if they shared that part, that would draw me into the conversation. It wouldn't, it didn't. And a little backstory, this is someone I've known in passing for years, and this has always been their MO. They always find a reason to complain, and they never fall short or run out of things to complain about. Point is, this bulleted several points for me. First of which is that commiseration is a learned behavior. And there are people who commiserate because they believe or have observed that that would get more response or get more people to engage in conversation. It was a point when I did that. I saw it. I learned the practice. One of the easiest ways to strike up conversation is to find something we can complain about together. I don't remember what the turning point was. I don't remember if it was somebody pointing it out to me that there are other things to be happy about, or if I'd finally reached the point where I'd gotten tired of complaining and made my own changes. regardless of what catalyzed the evolution, I'm grateful for it. That aside, I think that it is extremely important to be aware that there are people who are vibrating on that frequency. That's the type of time they are on, and that's the type of time they will always be on because that's the energy they enjoy. It's the most familiar energy, so they stay in a familiar space rather than trying something different, like shrugging some things off. Or they're not familiar with peace, so peace is uncomfortable because there's no chaos in peace. I thought about that as I was entering my home, and I said to myself, peace over everything. And then I thought about that. There are a lot of people who will never choose that. Some will choose money over everything, and that includes selling their conjoined twin, even if it means selling half of themselves because they're still attached. And I get it. When you've been uncomfortable most or all of your life, you want to ensure that you get to enjoy every inch of everything you believe, you feel, you think you might have missed out on up until now. And if you were mocked for what you didn't have, or you're fighting to be seen, another thing we talked about last season, you may want to make sure everybody sees you having money and knows you have money because you assume the value they place on materials based on the value you place on them. Put a bookmark here because I feel a spin-off episode in my spirit. If you're watching this with me live, somebody put spin-off in the chat. But on the other side, if you've been comfortable all your life, discomfort to you is very different than what it is to someone who experiences discomfort as a norm or a standard. So if you happen to get even a teaspoon of severe discomfort, and sidebar, pay attention to my word choice because a lot of folks like to invalidate someone's experience because it's not theirs. Your situation being chronic doesn't mean that because their situation is acute, it's not devastating. What a dictionary definition, that's what passion takes action towards, show your vocab is expanded. If you know the word is cool, know the meaning even better than the segment, just a moment of enhancement. Parents, this is a good place to check yourself. Stop invalidating how extreme something is to your child or children because there are more extreme things that are taking place and could befall them or might befall them. Stop invalidating their feelings because worse things happened to you when you were their age. Coach them through it, but don't make them feel like they're wrong for feeling how they feel, just like I don't tell you you're wrong for disagreeing with me when you know I'm right, but your ego got you in a stranglehold. Back to the subpoint. If what others consider luxury or comfort is your standard, then a walk through someone else's reality could be catastrophic because you don't have the skill set to navigate that life. And truthfully, some people don't want that skill set. They want to get back to concierge service and 4- and 5-star accommodations. And why not? It feels good over there. So it's money over everything for them because they'll do anything not to live like you. Survival and settling aren't sexy. Maybe somewhat flexy, but definitely not sexy. And we know my position on family over everything from the uncompromising episode. Choose your family, honor your family, prioritize your family, okay. But don't compromise yourself in the name of family greed or hiding family ugliness that's masquerading itself as family love. Go rewatch that episode. Somebody talking about breaking generational curses needs that message right now. But as for me and my house, while I love me some luxury and upscale comfort, while I love the finer things in life, while I appreciate a good family link up and strong family bonds and ties, it's the peace for me. So if I have to opt out of the family gatherings to ensure my peace, if the money comes at the cost of my peace, hear me, I said the cost of my peace, not the cost of my dedication and perseverance. If I have to sacrifice my peace to have other things, I'm cool on it. Most people don't know they are complainers because complaining is their standard. Just like comfort is the standard of the person of means, right? And because you don't think you're a complainer, when someone points it out to you, it's an affront and an offense. Now, again, I know people's egos are clearing their throats right now to say, no, not I, because I'm further evolved than that, and I receive constructive criticism with grace. How the preacher say it? I know I ain't talking about nobody in here, okay? So let me just go ahead and talk about myself. People told me I was always complaining, and I thought they were the stupid ones. Like, how you gonna ask me how I'm doing or what's going on, then chastise me for answering the question honestly? How am I wrong? So, okay, bet. I just won't talk to you. Problem solved. Clearly emotionally underdeveloped. And that's also why when I now answer, I won't complain. And the response is, who would listen anyway? I wrestle with that. Like, you would listen because you asked the question and I'm going to answer it. Because don't ask questions you don't want answers to, and don't expect canned answers. Back to it. When something is your norm, you're generally not aware of it until someone points it out to you. How I'm always talking about people flying on autopilot. At that point, you have to assess where it falls for you and how much it matters to you, how it impacts others. Whether others receiving you well or poorly matters to you or not. Complaining is neither an indicator of peace nor gratitude. So while someone criticizing you for complaining or being wearied by your bleak outlook, because that's how it sounds to them, whether that was the intention or not, if that's met with your defensive retort, I'm just saying, the question is, why is that all you have to say? Why is it always woe and gloom and doom with you? And again, the defensive retort, it's not always. I was just saying. Pay attention to the fact that you aren't always aware of how you're coming off to others. But if the impression is that it's often, well, you know how so many people like to use words interchangeably like they all mean the same thing? As far as they're concerned, often might as well be always, because it's too much. What's the always for me? So serious. Why are you always so serious? Because I'm always thinking. My mind is moving at 1,000 miles per hour at any given time, and it registers on my face. What you see as a scowl is often me just sifting through everything that's happening in my head, the same way you rummage through a closet or a drawer. Am I going to be less serious? No. Because miserable people want to know why you're always so happy and what you're smiling about. I laugh all day long, and it's still not enough for some, and that's too damn bad. I am grateful for evolving to this place. I am grateful that I am open to continually evolving. I am grateful that I am continually evolving. That's two different things. I am grateful that my perspective has shifted. I am grateful to look at things through a broader lens. I am grateful for insight and grateful to share it with others. I'm grateful that my healing helps others heal. I'm grateful that my healing heals others. I'm grateful for every step that I've taken and every inch of progress I've made, even if it was only an inch. I am grateful for the people that pull me by my coattail and let me know when my behavior is problematic, unbecoming, or untoward. I'm grateful for the people who are real-time examples of how I have come across to others, the mirror. I'm grateful that the behavior of others makes me more aware of myself. I'm grateful for growing from defensive to discerning. Y'all, gratitude is a priority. When you can find the things to be grateful for in the midst of the disappointment, peace follows. If Speaker could have prioritized gratitude, that whole diatribe never would have taken place. Well, Passion, you would be frustrated too if you were paying for Amazon Prime and then had to go running your packages down. And that's probably what Speaker would say too, right? And whether or not I'd be frustrated if I were in their shoes is a moot point, because complaining is what Speaker always does. There's never a time where they can just move through life without having something negative to say. And it's the unawareness of how often they have something negative to say that makes their behavior problematic. Okay, Passion, so you should just lie about how you're feeling and what's going on? Not at all. But you can't believe the law of attraction only works to bring you good things. So if you're always complaining or something negative is constantly on your highlight reel, more negatives will always be en route to you, because that's what your mind and your words are on. But if you desire joy and wellness, that's what you should be speaking. Passion, how am I supposed to be speaking joy and wellness when bad things are happening? Are they happening? Or did they happen and you're still reliving it? OMG, Passion, this is just what you said was happening to you. I'm answering a question and now you're condemning me for my truth. And no, I'm not. I'm showing you another perspective. I told y'all before, 2008 was literally the worst year of my life, and many days I didn't know if I would get out alive. Perspective shift. 2008 was a major turning point in my life, and if all of everything that happened in that year didn't happen, we would not be in season 4 of the Passion PSA podcast. The podcast seed gets planted after the second album is recorded, but the second album doesn't get recorded until 5 years after the first open mic showcase where I featured. Before 2009, I hadn't seriously or consistently written poetry since like 98. 2021, my partner in pod took a leave of absence from the podcast and then abandoned our friendship altogether. Perspective shift. 2021, I was partnered with someone who laid a really phenomenal foundation for our podcast and left me with a brightly lit torch to carry. 50 episodes plus, an almost completely built out studio, and multiple established LLCs later, if I had anything to say to old boy, it would be thank you. I may have never started without you, and look at me now. There's plenty to complain about. The worst things in your life show up prominently and refuse to be ignored. It's hurtful. Sometimes you feel like you can't ignore it. It's stressful. It's loud. But you don't have to break ground and build a house there. Feel the feeling, don't marry it. Feel it, but don't slow dance and make passionate love to it. Let that shiznai go. I experienced this at this point. I'm experiencing this emotion, this energy in motion right now. But I know energy is constantly moving. So this too shall pass. It is well is all. How you feel about that, Passionates? You mad that I'm right? You feel like I came for you and you didn't send for me? You feel like I made a point or two, but I'm not right? Let's talk about it in the comments. This week, I didn't put any passion points for you. I challenge you to leave me the 3 to 5 passion points that you determined based on this episode in the comment section below. Let me get some interactivity from you. I would really appreciate it. Comments, questions, concerns, commendations, critiques, criticisms, they're all welcome. Send a listener letter to my brilliant friend passion@gmail.com. Whether you're listening or viewing on your preferred podcast platform, do like, do subscribe, do turn on your notifications. Share. Help me help others help themselves. If you would like to be a financial contributor, donations can be made via Podbean, PayPal, Linktree, or Zelle. The links are in the description box. Every little bit helps. It all goes back into the pod. Your Get You Right Guru is signing off. Y'all go forth. Be great, be filled with bliss, be armed and empowered with knowledge. Choose gratitude. It's the key to the joy and peace you seek. In all things, be passionate. See you later.